Welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the DC Blockchain Summit. Joining me for this segment, we have James Poocher. He's the head of product strategy over at TradeStation Crypto. And we're going to focus on educating retail investors to potentially get involved with cryptocurrency trading. James, thanks so much for joining us.
Jill, thanks for having us today.
No, great question. How do you suggest to traditional investors how to potentially get involved with crypto trading?
So it's a big challenge today because a lot of the participants in the marketplace are not really well known like a Nasdaq is or a TradeStation is. And so what we're seeing is that this is going to evolve over the next probably 6 months. If you look at the players that are coming in, the main retail brokers, the exchanges, it's bringing a lot of stability into the marketplace. And so it's going to allow the bridging between traditional capital markets to the crypto markets. And it's going to allow customers to really engage with the market in a familiar brand that they know and trust. So I think that's where, if I was them, I would wait a little bit till they can get more of a certainty or a brand that they're familiar in dealing with. And that sort of echoes what we're hearing from the marketplace right now.
All right, now what's your outlook over the next 5 years for cryptocurrency trading? Because it has been a challenge.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It's very fragmented. There's a lot of transparency issues, liquidity issues. Do you think that's going to improve over the next 5 years as it becomes more mainstream?
Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of it happens when our firms get involved in the space because it starts to move things into a place where we're used to dealing with the regulated financial markets, and so we're bringing in some levels of expertise that'll make it much more transparent, much more stable. There's simple things like technical APIs and how we would talk together. We would talk together on a fixed API protocol versus some type of WebSocket or phone trading. So just those simple acts are going to help make that market more mature. And then when you look at some of the other players that get in, we focus on brokerage, we focus on exchange, and that really works in a good relationship as opposed to us trying to do everything. And so I think that's where things are going to become a little bit more stable and better for the retail investor because we'll have companies that focus on brokerage, focus on exchange, and focus on custody instead of trying to do it all.
And what are some of the risks associated for retail investors as they try to understand the cryptocurrency market? Do they go all in or not kind of listen to these crazy stories where it doubled, tripled, quadrupled in price? How do you manage those expectations?
I think that's our core job as a broker, is to really make sure that we're providing assets that are suitable for customers. Managing the expectations, this is a different asset class than most people are used to dealing with. The risks are much different. So when I trade a stock, you don't have to worry so much that the stock is going to disappear. There's no concept of self-custody, or there is a concept, but it's not really common. With cryptos, that concept of self-custody becomes really a unique risk point. And it also is a risk point for the individuals that are custodying the assets, because it's not typical that a custodian will get hacked and lose all of their stock certificates, but it is fairly common that custodian can get hacked and lose their crypto assets. So it's a total different mindset around how we're going to manage those assets. I think that's really where it's sort of buyer beware, and the customer really needs to understand what they're doing, what's happening in the space, and in terms of managing that risk, look for easy ways in or comfortable ways in. And it might not be through the crypto asset underlier, it might be that you go through a regulated stock like an ETF or futures for the large audience. But for those that are really, say, knowledgeable and interested in digging in and learning, then crypto asset custody, crypto asset trading is something that could be really interesting for them.
Right. Well, these package products aren't available yet. There is no crypto ETF. Perhaps some of the technology around it is available, but with TradeStation Crypto, are you offering educational tools on the platform? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure. So as a broker, our job really is to make sure that things are suitable for customers, but that we help them understand the risk, understand what's happening. So we haven't disclosed the full offering at this point in time, but I think if you were to look at what we typically do at TradeStation, which is market access, good liquidity, good pricing, and education and resources, that kind of gives you a pattern of how we think about the market, and we're identifying that those types of tools are not really accessible yet to customers, and that's where we'll see the opportunity. If you just look at news sources, it's hard to find anybody in the industry that has more than a few years experience. We don't have that Warren Buffett or the Peter Lynch that you can listen to in crypto today. So we're looking to try to help cultivate some certainty around the information and transparency on the information, and also provide the right education and tools for the customers to engage in the market effectively and safely.
All right, thank you so much. Super exciting.
Okay.
Lots to
Awesome.
look forward to on the horizon. And thank you for joining me throughout the day. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.